It's still Thursday, November the 18th. Mitchell's final decision. I'm out of here. Showbiz wedding. Flirt in skirt to marry twat in hat. Keegan, worst beating since lay-by. Please welcome the man with the biggest tackle in England. It's Ian Lee.
Hello and welcome to the 11 o'clock show. For a change, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to address just one of our viewers, Kevin Keegan. Kevin, if you're watching this, you shouldn't. You should be watching a video about football tactics. Because last night, Kevin, you shamed the English race. I had to watch the whole match like this. Why? Because I haven't seen a performance that bad since I took the mirror off my bedroom ceiling. What is it coming to when our motley band of boozers, battlers and bandana-wearing boot boys can't beat a team of Scottish midgets who live on a diet of lard and batter? Even the chicks on their shoulders would eat that fried, for God's sake. Scotland are so bad they couldn't even beat the Faroe Islands, and they're managed by a puffin. My favourite joke in the whole show. Kevin Keegan is to tactics what Stephen Hawking is to ballroom dancing. Apparently... it don't matter. It sort of does a bit. Apparently, we don't have enough players with left feet. Is it too much to ask a professional footballer to have 2 feet? You know, I'm right-handed, but I can use my left hand, and by way of a change, I often do. Well, no, it feels like someone else, actually. Keegan said, we showed a lot of character. Yeah, and every character was a useless ponce. Keegan also said, we stood up to be counted. Yeah, and I counted 11 useless ponces. And to add insult to injury, he now says we can go on to win Euro 2000. Yeah, and Harrods are going to hire Gary Glitter as this year's Santa. The sad fact is, England lost to Scotland, but we still went through. Hang on a minute. England lost, but England won. Scotland won, England lost, but the English fans can still laugh at them. Kevin Keegan, you are a genius! I salute you, for God's sake! But enough footy-based nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the girl who always blows my whistle, Daisy Donovan! So, Daisy, what did you think of last night's match?
Oh, I didn't watch it, Ian, but it sounds appalling. Someone told me that Kevin Keegan pulled off Michael Owen.
Daisy. Tell us what's coming up in tonight's show.
Will do so, sir.
Thank you.
Fourth show superstar Paul Whitehouse is here to give us an in-depth analysis of last night's England-Scotland grudge match.
Oh, you know, come along. Scottish football, isn't it? Haggis, heroin, deep-fried Mars bars, and unhealthy obsession with country and western music.
And Texan R.T. Fulton asks what the hell is going on at the state opening of Parliament.
But now, here are the headlines. And tonight's top stories. As the IRA starts to work out how to dispose of its armoury, Saddam Hussein subscribes to the Belfast edition of Loot.
At yesterday's state opening of Parliament, the Queen's speech gave ramblers the right to roam. In retaliation, the Italian Parliament gave ramblers the right to London.
Following the Queen's speech, one South London pensioner goes overboard in his winter fuel heating allowance.
Eurostar has announced it will drop its Just Skirts policy for women employees. They'll now be allowed to wear bras and pants as well, which is a good thing.
A gang of drug smugglers made an error by hiding a large stash of cannabis in a consignment of apple strudel that was then delivered to Tesco's. The cannabis is a street value of £200,000, plus 400 bonus points in the club card.
A magistrate heard that a barman who had sex with a customer after closing time was caught on security camera, and he later showed the footage on the pub's big screen TV. Here's a clip.
Following her lucrative divorce from Mick Jagger, Jerry Hall denies rumours that she's only interested in men with money.
The BBC has announced that the centrepiece of their Millennium coverage will be an Easter Island ritual involving deflowering a group of virgins. The first volunteers have come forward. And those were tonight's headlines. to return to today's main story, Kevin Livingstone's rollercoaster campaign to become London Mayor.
Here's Alex Lowe with his report.
It was Yes You Can today as the Labour Party accepted Ken Livingstone onto its shortlist of candidates for mayor, along with Jackson and Dobson. Despite criticism that the selection process was shambolic, the Labour Party insisted that they had appointed a panel of their best people. Immediately, critics of Ken Livingstone said that if he were to become mayor, we could see a return to the bad old days of the loony left. However, Livingstone promised he had mellowed, and if elected, he wouldn't just go handing out grants to a load of dungaree-wearing turf accountants like I did under the old-style bender-loving GLC. Despite initial misgivings, the panel finally accepted Livingstone after he agreed to follow the Labour manifesto with a few small additions of his own. They include the introduction of bread queues, gulags and death squads, as London is renamed Kenningrad. Red Ken will also introduce a new KGB-style force with powers to beat suspects, bug phones and control the proletariat through a campaign of terror. This secret police will be based on the Met, only not as racist. Sexism of any form will not be tolerated in Kenningrad, and many Soho strip clubs will be closed down. Cabaret of Angels owner Peter Stringfellow says he's prepared for any political changes and is going to relaunch his new club, Cabaret of Workbench-Faced Shot-Putters. The current male fantasy of bedding two lipstick lesbians will be strictly outlawed and replaced with a new fantasy, shattering grain production rates. This is Alex Lowe for the 11 o'clock show, Millbank, London.
If you're looking for informed, unbiased reflection on the day's news, you don't want Ricky Gervais.
Fortunately, we're not. So please welcome Ricky Gervais from Reading.
Gervais?
Yeah.
Come on.
What, away you go? Oh, topical stuff, yeah. I saw in the paper today, actually, a story about the health service. It said, what sort of sick society makes people of 90 years old and older wait days to have a broken bone mended? A sensible one. I'll tell you why. No, it's not like people that age are going to miss an important match, is it? Or have to go to work. So treat young people first. They've got stuff to do. Old people are sitting around doing nothing anyway, so there's no loss. It makes sense.
Ricky, can I just get this straight? Last week you had a go at disabled people, and this week you're now going to...
Well, yeah, there's too much worries about the elderly. There was a story last week in the paper, actually. It's a headline. It said, Youth's mug lady 93, scarred for life. How is that scarred for life? She's 93. Even if she lived to 100, she'd be scarred for 7% of her life. That's the problem with tabloids. They twist the truth. It's a good job I'm here, really. But we're going to get stuff coming on the telly as well, like, oh, Christmas can be the loneliest time for the elderly. Remember the old lady who lives next door? I can't forget her. I can hear her telly blaring through the wall. She's so deaf. If she really winds me up, I sneak next door and I put loads of bottles of milk and newspapers on her doorstep and then wait for the social services to smash the door down. It scares the shit out of her. Then they mop it up and leave. But I've got a topical joke as well. You like this one? This is not nasty. What's the similarity between the England football team and a stroke victim?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're both useless down the left-hand side. Actually, look, just to show that I'm not callous, this is a true story. I've got time for this, right? I do care about the elderly. When I was on the dole, I lived in a tenement block in King's Cross, and there was an old boy who lived next door to me. His name was Frank. He was 83, this is true, right? And I had nothing to do anyway, so I used to go in there every day, and it was freezing. It was winter, and he'd be there in his coat, and the first thing I did was turn the heating up full. I'd cook for us both, and I'd just spend the whole day there.
Oh, so that's lovely.
Yeah, it was lovely and warm, and I saved a bomb on my bill. Cost him 200 quid, that. It was great. See, make the old people work for you, really, because they won't be around forever. That's just... Was I offensive again?
Yeah, very slightly. Have you finished now?
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais.
Can you go?
I really wouldn't bother.
Back the end of part one. Coming up in part two, we'll be talking to King of the Catchphrase, Paul Whitehouse.
And Artie Fulton gives his Yankside view of the state opening of Parliament.
But before that, Britain's unluckiest street trader finds himself with a job lot of very dodgy merchandise. See you after the break.
Don't interest you in the Gary Glitter CD? Quick, double album. When you think of it, forgive and forget. If you want to know about the 1970s, 2 words, Gary and Glitter.
Are you having problems shipping all this?
I am having 1 or 2 problems, sir. Do you want to touch my CDs? Do you want to touch them? I used to be a fan. I've gone off them a little bit lately. People don't knock Shakespeare because you don't know what he got up to. You get a free bag of sweeties and a car sticker. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Take that quick.